But ladies and gentlemen, we don't have a short-term debt problem. We have a medium and long-term debt problem. So let's talk about how the U.S. government is spending its dollars to try to decipher where these issues are. The federal government only spends its money in two ways: mandatory spending and discretionary spending. Mandatory spending here is in green, and discretionary spending is in red. In the mandatory side, we have two areas. One is the entitlement programs, and that's just Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. And we also have the interest on the debt. Now, in the United States, you've probably heard of this little thing called the baby boom generation, right? Most of us are included in that generation. And that generation is moving into retirement. As a matter of fact, 10,000 Americans are turning 65 every single day. Every single day. And they're moving into this entitlement portion of the budget. So it stands to reason that that portion of the budget is likely to grow over the next 10 years. Would you agree? Yeah. According to the federal government, just that portion of the budget is going to double in the next 10 years because of the baby boom generation. Now that's a 7.2% growth rate. That's only a problem if the economy is not growing equally as fast. So I want to see a show of hands. How many of you believe that the U.S. economy can grow at 7.2% for the next 10 years? I try not to make you work hard, right? Because I don't see a hand in the room. And that's right. It's not going to grow that fast, so it is a problem. So let's talk about the other little green area called the interest on the debt. Now keep in mind, this is just the interest, no principal payment. The White House was asked, well, what's going to happen to that portion of the budget over the next 10 years? The statement, the official statement they came out with was just that little debt portion of the pie in the next 10 years is going to quadruple. 14.4% growth rate. And that's because of two factors. One, we keep digging the hole because of that annual budget deficit. And second of all, more importantly, is a normalization of the interest rates. As you know, right now we're paying ridiculously low for our money. Well, that's going to change at some point. So you can see that that's going to put a tremendous amount of pressure on the red portion of the budget, isn't it? The discretionary portion. As a matter of fact, that red portion of the budget, just so you know, as a percent of our economy, in other words, a percent of GDP, is already at a 50-year low. A 50-year low in spending on defense and domestic spending. The $2.1 trillion in cuts from the last debt ceiling deal, August of 2011, that $2.1 trillion is being split equally between those two red portions of the budget. So you can see that that portion of the budget's pretty much already contributed at the trough of the federal government, I think you would agree. And it's coming due to the expansion of these two green areas. You see, we are becoming very quickly in the United States a pension fund with an army.